Hello. If you're looking to buy used Fuji lenses, you can be confident that if you know what to look for, you can pick up some real bargains that'll last you for a long, long time to come. That said, Fuji stuff does have its weaknesses, and it's important to know what those weaknesses are if you're looking around at second-hand equipment. My name is Jonathan Harris from Worldwide Camera Exchange, and I'm going to run through the checks you need to make if buying used Fuji lenses. Now, fundamentally, I'd recommend three checks. You look at the cosmetics, look at the functionality, then look at the optics. So first of all, have a look at the cosmetics. Take the caps off. Just check out the filtering, make sure there are no nasty dings or dents there. Then have a look at the mount and just make sure there's no excessive wear on the mount. You do see brass showing through on the extreme corners of the bayonet if they've been on and off the camera a lot, so do keep an eye open for that. I'd very carefully just look around the lens itself just to make sure there are no nasty scratches, no nasty dings. By taking some time over this, you can build a good picture of your own mind, in your own mind, about how well the lens has been treated, and that's important. You want to avoid equipment that's been abused or misused. Now, if you're happy with the cosmetics, I'll then move on to the functionality. Put it onto a camera, go outside, aperture priority at full aperture, and just focus on infinity and make sure it's focusing at infinity. I'll then make sure that it's focusing at 1.5 meters or 2 meters roughly. So focus on a defined point and just make sure that the camera is focusing exactly where it should be focusing. Finally, I'd photograph a uniformly flat subject. I mean, a brick wall would work very well, or a bookcase maybe. Take a picture and just make sure the top corners and the bottom corners are of equal sharpness, and the left corners and the right corners are of equal sharpness. You're not looking at absolute sharpness. What you're doing is making sure that all the corners are equally sharp. If they're not equally sharp, it's a sign that the optical alignment of the lens is out, and that can be a very expensive thing to get fixed. So once you're happy that it's performing optically as it should be, I'll just check out the rings, check out the zoom ring, check out the focusing and aperture rings if it has them. Make sure they're moving smoothly. If there are tight spots, that's a sign the lens has been knocked and the internal mechanism has been knocked out of alignment. So that again can be serious. So make sure they're moving smoothly. It's a good idea if you have the time just to check the optical stabilization rather, and the aperture switches, and just make sure they're working. But I have to say that mechanically they are very reliable lenses. From a dealer perspective, we very rarely have issues with them mechanically, unless they have been abused or misused. But do check it out quickly if you can. So once you're satisfied that the lens is working well, and the final things to look at is the optics. Now, it's the optics where Fuji is weak. For some reason I really can't explain, Fuji suffers a lot from having black spots inside. So you look into the front or you look into the back and you see quite big black spots that really shouldn't be there. I have seen brand new weather sealed lenses with spots inside. So, you know, it's sad to say, but I think a lot of these marks are there when they leave the factory. So do check there are there's no excessive dust inside. 1 or 2 tiny spots, that's actually quite normal, but you don't want anything too much. If you do see spots in the front, that probably won't affect the performance, but it will affect the value. So don't pay top dollar if it's dusty inside. If it's dusty towards the back, that's a lot more serious, because particularly if the dust is just tucked inside the rear elements, that can affect the optical performance, because the closer you get to the image sensor, the more likely you are to impact the final image. So if you see dust just on the inside, personally I'd avoid the lens. The other things to check out for if you're looking inside, just check out for fungus, which is black dots with spidery legs, or spidery-like growth across the inner surfaces. So check out for fungus. And also obviously just very carefully check the front element, check the back element, just to make sure there aren't any scratches. So hopefully you've now got a point where you're happy with the cosmetics, you're happy with the mechanics, and you're happy with the optics. If you are, then absolutely go for the lens. They are very good lenses and they'll serve you well for a long time to come. I hope that's been useful. If you have any comments, please stick them in the box below. Otherwise, please subscribe and like, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.